I'm going to take you through how I made my short film, She Knows. This short was basically conceptualized, shot, and edited in about 2 weeks. I'd seen David Sandberg's behind the scenes videos on how he'd been making short films with his wife during quarantine with pretty much the exact same gear I have, and so I felt guilty that I hadn't been making anything. So I made up the concept for She Knows. I actually didn't write a script, I just wrote out the important parts of the short in the Notes app on my phone, which ended up changing quite a bit in the final version. And on the day of shooting, I wrote a list of all the shots I needed.
And you're not even part of the movie.
The next step in the process was casting. I knew I wouldn't have access to professional actors, especially during COVID-19, so I wrote parts specifically to the personalities of the family and friends I had in mind. For example, I knew Lila was ugly, so I wrote her in as the monster. And I knew Josh is prone to hitting civilians on the daily, so he would be perfect as the protagonist.
Right arm under the pillow.
We shot this film over the course of a few days, with only a couple hours of filming per day.
And then, yeah, you'll have your arm.
We started by shooting the bedroom scene. This bedroom is technically the door that flies open in the hallway scene. We never shot in the bedroom he walks out of in the hallway. In post, I flipped the image because I felt like it made more sense visually that way. Next, we shot all the living room scenes. For this, all I used were practical lights. I used lamps from my bedroom because they were bright, and then I took out most of the light bulbs in the kitchen, and that was it. Except for the flicker of the TV on Josh's face. For that, I used a cheapo softbox I bought off Amazon, and my little brother waved a badminton racket in front of it. For gear, I have a Blackmagic Pocket 4K with a Mikey 16mm, and then an off-brand 50mm 1.1 I got for like $100 on Amazon. For stabilization, I usually used either my tripod or a DIY dolly I made. For the shot of Lila standing over Josh while he sleeps, I shot it in 2 takes. One without Lila, and one with her standing still on top of an ottoman so she could look tall. In post, I just extended her arms and waist in After Effects using the puppet tool. And I also keyframed some head movement so that way she's not just motionless the entire time. The night before the shoot, I had edited a video of TV static with an audio countdown so everyone can know when it's going to flicker back to regular TV. I had my fiancé and my little brother on the floor next to the outlets so when the countdown ended, they could flicker on the lights. For Lila's outfit, we took a pair of clothes she didn't wear anymore, threw some fake blood on them, and let them dry in time for the shoot. For the hallway scene, I tried my best to make it visually interesting by putting tinfoil around the lights, but other than that, I didn't do much with the lighting. The hallway scene actually had 2 different endings before the final one you see in the film. At first, I had Lila walk out of the door on the ottomans and was going to edit it, just like the shot in the living room, and add some scary effects to her face. Only problem with that take is her arm crosses in front of her body when she walks out, which makes it difficult for me to extend her arms without also extending her body. We decided to reshoot it a few days later, with the right bedroom door flying open like it does in the end result, but Lila would be standing there. I finished the shot, but after showing it to Josh and my fiancé, they both agreed it wasn't that scary, so we reshot it one last time, this time with Lila out of focus peeking out of the bedroom behind Josh. It was a lot less work in post, and I think it was much more effective. Last but not least, we shot the intro scene. When I first thought of this scene, I envisioned it as a slow glide cam shot making its way from the back of the car to the front and revealing the blood on the hood of the car. So when we shot it the first time, I only brought my glide cam, which was a stupid idea. When we got the car and the blood ready to go and started shooting, it just wasn't looking how I thought it would. It was too short to build any ambience, and it was too wobbly because of how slow I had to walk. We messed around with a few different ways to shoot it, and I wasn't super happy with it, but we called it and went to shoot the drone shot. For this we used Josh's brother's drone, and my fiancée Hannah Mae was the one driving the car. After looking at the glide cam shots in post, I realized it really wasn't going to work, and I knew I had to make a good first impression in the film, so we went to reshoot it a couple days later. And this time I brought my tripod. After the reshoot, all that was left was finishing up the edit and making the soundtrack with Josh. We did the soundtrack in Logic Pro and kept it fairly simple with more of a melancholy, piano-heavy score. Josh did all of the piano playing and I just told him he sucked in between each recording. And there you have it, a finished soundtrack.
tired of being dragged around.
Well, maybe if you put in performance worth something next time, then we won't have to reshoot it.
Worth something.
Yeah, it's a big word, I know. Put it together, WORTH, okay? I'm done with this this BS you've been giving me. Good.
All right.
You're luckily I'm even getting you. Hey.